Alright, everybody, this is going to be my Fantastic Four First Steps movie review. Now, I've seen the movie 2 times now. It was one of those movies where I needed to see it more than once to really solidify my opinions on it, and here we go. So, the first time I saw it, I was absolutely glowing. I was like, this is one of the best Marvel movies ever, oh my god. But then after the second viewing, I still really liked it, but I'm just not as high as I was after seeing it the second time. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about it. We'll do pros and cons, and then I'll give you guys my rating out of 10. So the first pro that I have is the set and costume design. The whole retro futuristic 60s thing, it was awesome. It was really working for me. We really felt like we were in a different universe, which was the whole point of that aesthetic. Then paired with Michael Giacchino's score, my god, Chef's Kiss, that was amazing. Like every scene was elevated and just enhanced by Michael Giacchino. And there's rumors that he's going to be making the score for Spider-Man Brand New Day, which I really hope so, because I think he is extremely talented. But anyways, yeah, the score and the whole look of the movie was fantastic. Now let's talk about performances. I gotta say, every single one of the core four was really, really good. The chemistry they had with each other was absolutely phenomenal. It honestly felt like there was just a camera in the Baxter building and this was a real family. Like, that's how good the chemistry was. Especially the chemistry between Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby as Reed Richards and Sue Storm. I thought they were great as a couple. So the chemistry was great, but I would also say that the acting performances from everyone, but especially Pedro and Vanessa, were really, really good. There are some really emotional scenes in here, and Pedro and Vanessa really deliver fantastic performances. I know I've said fantastic twice already, and it's probably going to happen a few more times. It's just, that's just what happens when you review a Fantastic Four movie. Then I would say the pacing was pretty good. Like, this is a fast-paced movie, and they don't really waste any scenes. No time wasting at all, really, in this movie. Then I would say the comedy actually really worked for me. It was definitely toned down from your typical Marvel movie, which I really appreciated. Like, I want to have serious moments, I want to have drama, I want to have, suspense, and I don't want those scenes to be ruined by a little pun. And luckily, this movie doesn't really do that. Like, yes, it's funny, there's a couple jokes here and there, but it's a lot less than what we're used to. I would say most of those comedic scenes come from The Thing and Johnny Storm, but Pedro and Vanessa both have some pretty comedic scenes too that I really enjoyed. Then I would say the script is pretty strong. Like, this is a well-written script, it is tight, it's concise, no moments are really wasted, and there's some really iconic lines that fans are gonna really remember. Then I would say the action was pretty good, but I definitely wanted some more of it, which we'll talk about later on in my negatives, but for now, let's go ahead and dive right into Galactus. I absolutely loved Galactus. Now, yes, he could have used a bit more screen time, but man, his presence on the big screen when I saw this in IMAX was incredible. The scene where the team goes to meet Galactus, I honestly think is one of the best scenes in the entire MCU. Like, that's how good it is. He commands the scene. Ralph Ineson's voice is amazing for this character. He is massive, and wow, like the design they went with is so comic book accurate, and it just translates so well in this film. I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought he was a great villain. You really sense the sense of peril in this movie because you don't know if this universe is going to live or die because it's not the main universe, which is the 616. This one is 828. So you don't know if the world's going to get blown up or not. Like, I'm not going to spoil it, obviously, but I just liked having that suspense with a giant character like Galactus in the film. And for my last positive, I'm going to say the CGI for the most part. Like, I would say maybe 85% of the movie actually looked really good, and then there's roughly 15% which was kind of iffy. But overall, it did look good. It looked more polished than some recent Marvel projects. And then for my final positive, I'm going to say I really like the Silver Surfer. There was a lot of talk when Julia Garner was first announced as Shala Ball, Silver Surfer. Everyone was like, what the heck, we want Norrin Radd. And like, I totally get that. Silver Surfer is one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time, but I knew this was going to be an alternate reality universe movie, so I wasn't too pressed about this whole thing. I'm sure we're going to get Norrin Radd in the main MCU, and I think it's going to be fantastic. Yes, I said it again. But for Julia Garner's performance, I think it was really good. This is an emotional Silver Surfer, one that actually shows a lot of humanity, even though she's not a human. And, she's the Herald of Galactus. She's got to pick worlds that are going to die. And, it really takes a toll on her, and we see it in this movie, and I really appreciated that. We also got to see a little bit of her backstory and also visit her home planet, which I thought was cool, but I wish we spent a little bit more time with that. But yeah, guys, really like the movie. Lots of positives that we just talked about. Now let's move on to the negatives. Okay, so for my first negative, I want to say that the team didn't really use their powers all that creatively in this movie. If you watch the original Fox movies with like Chris Evans as Human Torch and all that, like they use their powers really uniquely, and there's some really great action scenes in those movies. But in this movie, it's kind of your very standard, basic version of that. Mr. Fantastic just stretches his arms and legs, and that's pretty much it. Vanessa Kirby goes invisible a few times and uses her powers pretty standardly. The Human Torch flies around, and it doesn't feel like super fast or super powerful like Johnny in Chris Evans's version. And the Thing, yeah, he's strong and all that, but he doesn't really do a whole lot. Which is fine at the same time, because this is not a very action-heavy movie. It really focuses on the characters themselves, and it's not all just about the spectacle and punches and kicks. I just wish we got more interesting ways to showcase their powers, which I'm sure the Russo brothers are going to do in Avengers Doomsday in Secret Wars, but for the Fantastic Four First Steps, it was your very basic usage of these really cool powers. Then I would say the movie was a little bit too short, like not by a whole lot, but I think if they added maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, it would have enhanced the movie. Maybe add another action scene or two and showcase their powers in a cooler way. Maybe show Galactus or Silver Surfer a little bit more. I think that would have definitely improved the movie. Which leads me into my other negative. I don't think we got enough Galactus. Like, I totally get it. He's this cosmic force. He's basically a ticking time bomb that's going to come to Earth. So we can't really show him too much. But I would have liked to have maybe seen his backstory or something at the beginning of the movie. I think that would have been cool. Or maybe another fight scene between him and the Fantastic Four before he actually comes to Earth. I think that would have been cool. But overall, I did still really like Galactus, and I hope we get to see him again. Now, this same complaint goes to the Silver Surfer. We saw a little bit of her backstory and all that, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, especially because I'm a huge Silver Surfer fan. Like, if we got another 4 or 5 minutes of Silver Surfer stuff, that would have been awesome. Then my last complaint would be some of the CGI, maybe like 15% of it wasn't that great. I know a lot of people are talking about the CGI baby, and allegedly it was a real baby named Ava on set for every scene that the actual baby was on the screen for, which I don't know if I really believe that, but at the same time, the one scene that a lot of people are talking about is a scene where the Thing is holding the baby, but it's kind of hard to CGI the Thing, which would have been Ebon Moss-Bachrach holding the baby, and, it's just a little weird to CGI a character like the Thing while you have a baby in the frame. So that's probably why it looked a little bit weird. For the most part, I thought the baby CGI was fine. It's just some of the CGI on, like, Silver Surfer here and there, some of their powers in a couple of scenes, and then Galactus in some shots just looked a little bit wonky to me. It wasn't terrible by any means. It was just kind of noticeable just in a few shots here and there. So yeah, I think this movie really could have just improved with another 15-20 minutes, a little bit better CGI, and some more character moments and more time for the villains. I think that would have been great to flesh them out a little more. Well, let's jump right to my rating out of 10. I am going to give the Fantastic Four First Steps an 8 out of 10. I think this is a great Marvel movie. And I think if they improved the things that we were just talking about in the negatives, I think this could be a 9 out of 10 movie. I really do. All of the pieces are there. Matt Shakman delivered a really great Fantastic Four movie, easily the best Fantastic Four movie ever made. It looks amazing, the performances are amazing, the villain is great, everything is working for this movie. I just think there's a few areas they could have improved on. And for me, an 8 out of 10 movie is considered a great movie, and it is definitely one of those. In my opinion, of course. There's some people that might not like it, but yeah, I really like this movie. I'm definitely going to get the steelbook of it. I'm going to be watching it day one when it hits digital and when it goes on Disney Plus and everything. I've already got a bunch of the merch. I ordered some hot toys. I really like this movie and its characters. I can't wait to see them again in Avengers Doomsday and all that, and yeah, Fantastic Four is great. Definitely go check it out, go see it in the theater, hopefully in IMAX so you can see more of Galactus. If you have seen the movie, let me know down below in the comments what you think about it and give me your rating out of 10.